I'm Mark Ballard. Love is in the air today. I'm going to show you how to take these flowers and make them into this beautiful bouquet. A lot of people are getting married. This is one you won't want to miss. Hello everybody, I'm Mark Ballard, and today I'm going to show you how to create a very unique and beautiful romantic bouquet for a bride. You know, bouquets have come a long way and gone through lots of trends since I've been doing weddings, which I hate to even think about how long that's been. But, you know, we went from big kind of cascading bouquets. I remember one time this girl, I couldn't get it big enough for her, and she was just a petite girl, and I thought she's going to fall down the aisle. You know, in fact, it took almost 2 of the bridesmaids to hold it when she got her ring. But anyhow, then it got just small, like tussy-fussy kind of things. Then it got to where we gathered things up, you know, and tied them off with ribbons. So now it's kind of coming around, and they're doing more of the cascading kind of things as well. So that's what this bride requested. 2 things she wanted from me, or 3 things actually. 1, she liked cream and coral, light shades of coral. 2, she wanted it very romantic. And 3, she wanted it cascading. So I thought I'd show you how I'm going to do it. This is an interesting thing. Liz was interested in this, what you got here. It almost looks like something from Legos. But years ago, and I did a lot of these, this is one of the little holders that you get for, you know, the bouquet. So, Daddy came up with this idea to make me one, so you can kind of pivot this, because sometimes you just flat need another hand. What can I say? So he drills some holes up here, so that can just sit in there, and you can just work with this like a mannequin. Cool. Okay, we're working with faux or permanent or silk flowers, however you choose to call it, because she wanted to, you know, have the silk. And so, as you know, because we've talked about this many, many times, if it is going to be silk, it's got to be fabulous silk. Because when I finish this bouquet, I don't want you to be able to tell it's silk in pictures or even if you're up close to the bride. So that means that we have to use realistic things. We're going to start off with this greenery. Now this was a whole bunch, like a whole bunch in one stalk of greenery that I went in and cut apart. So the reason I liked it is because it had such an interesting, you know, variation of different kinds of greenery. So a soft greenery, a larger leaf, a little touch of some flowers, which I thought was great. So anyhow, that's why I chose it. And I also like it because you can move this up and down on the stick. So if you want to make it like airier, you can push it down. If you want to make it more clumped, you can push it up. So what you have to do, just like we're doing a wreath with a bouquet, we've got to start by attaching our greenery, getting it in place, because this, after all, it's going to form the whole, give a background for the whole thing of all our beautiful flowers. Let me show you this right here. This is interesting because, you know, a lot of times people don't make it kind of have that rounded look. They've taken that into effect here where you can kind of put it behind where you're actually going to be working, so it will let it, you see how it's kind of going in that direction? That way it can, you know, by just virtue of where you're putting it, kind of round it out for you. So here's an example of that with this low down. I wanted to kind of go up there so we have more of a clump situation. And I'm putting a little touch of hot glue because I think, not much, but I just don't want any flowers falling out during the wedding. Wouldn't that be interesting? Okay, so I also wanted to use some ivy because anytime we're cascading or trailing, ivy is a good thing to use. And look how realistic that is. If you have, wow, fantastic. You can also get it into a natural little curve of, you know, cascade. And we want it to be longer in the front than it is in the back, so we're going to find us that place underneath. And then just work some of our greenery. Now, I also save, as I told you before, any little piece like that because you never know when you're going to need to put a little touch of something somewhere right here. And again, I like to vary the different textures, so I loved this. This was on a flower that I saved from a while back, but it's kind of like that furry green, lighter green color, different texture altogether. So I thought, let's just save that, and it would make a nice little addition to this right here. See how pretty? We're starting to get a little thing. I will continue that all the way around. Also, you might want to put, these are beautiful rose leaves that were on one of the roses that I'm using in this, so I saved them. You know, we'll save anything. And then, you know, later it comes up. She might need it. My grandmother taught me that little lesson, and certainly comes in handy. Okay, then I want to, since we're cascading, have some touch of floral coming down as well, not just green. So I found this stem that had a whole bunch of long and airy and beautiful little touches of blooms that I thought would be perfect to cascade down the front. And that way you can go ahead and see how it's starting to do. Now let me put the rest of this in so we get the greenery set, and then we're really going to get to the excitement of adding all the color and the flowers. As you can see, I have been busy. I have completely set the greens, that's what I call that, all the way around to give a beautiful light and airy nest effect. You see how it's already got a beautiful cascade going. And I lied actually at the first part of this. She said 3 things, the bride to be. Actually it was 4, because she said she wanted some calla lilies in it. So I have the calla lilies. I try to do, you know, listen to what the bride wants and try to oblige, as my dad used to say. Now these are beautiful cabbage roses that will certainly take us to the romantic side of a wedding. And I like them because they were, she's wearing kind of a ecru colored dress. And I thought this would be perfect to, you know, not have stark white or anything like that, going to get something that almost had an antique look itself. So we're going to put these in right away. These are our biggest flowers. I want to get those established so I know exactly where to put everything else. They will dictate where to put the rest of the stuff. Y'all like my lime green glue gun? You knew I would have one. Had to have it with. Okay, so once we've put those in place, you see how we've already started. And keep in mind too, this is a good way to show you this. We're keeping it rounded this way, and it's kind of going back too. So you want to just keep all that in mind as you attach your flowers. Now, she also liked flowing ribbons, and so I didn't want to really take away from the flow that we had going with the natural ivy and the things that were hanging, so I used a really delicate French wire ribbon that's in an ecru and put it on one of those little stakes and wired it to it so I could attach it then into the wreath, into the bouquet. So I put a little touch of glue. And instead of having that, I want, you know, I'm kind of asymmetrical on wreaths. I'm kind of like that with bouquets as well. I'm going to attach it sort of at 5 o'clock if this were a clock. And let it be a little off-center, like that. Cool. It's already coming together. Now I got 2 roses like that, and then one that was more of a bud kind of rose. Doesn't that look absolutely real? I'm telling you, it was amazing. So let's put this. I'm listening to that little voice that tells me where to put flowers. I hope it doesn't ever stop. I'll be in trouble. So it's telling me to put that there. And we need to get these calla lilies established. Now the thing about these that are great, whether you're using fresh ones or these faux ones, is that when you're having something cascade, they really lend themselves to cascading because you can really, the long stems, let them go way far. Let me see how we can do this. See how that is? And then if we wanted one to go up, you know, kind of cascade out the top, what a beautiful shape that is. Being an artist, we also look at the shapes of things. You know, that would be beautiful up here. Now you see why I have to have this little wooden thing. You almost, if you're doing these and you don't have one of these things like this, you almost have to have a person. When my kids were little, I made them do it. It's like, you know, everybody else was like, what did you do last night? Well, I held a bouquet for Daddy to do. They had a very interesting life growing up with me, no doubt. Okay, that little voice is telling me to put it here. And I think we want one even longer. But again, if it's got a little crook in it, you got to make sure that you get a natural because that's exactly how they would be. I cannot stress to you enough to look at the real flowers. Anytime you're trying to create something that's faux, you have to look to the real ones in order to make sure that you've got the right look. Okay, I got one more. And I'm going to put it really low, but a piece of ivy's in my way, but I will win. Strong. Okay, okay, let's have an update.
Ooh.
And that got a swish going, love the lily. So I got number 4 in there. What was the other? Number 3 was she wanted something in shades of light coral. So we're immediately going to start working in some of our coral and other textures of our cream. Now, I particularly like this flower. I love all of them actually. But this one had a variegation where it just went to a tinge of that coral, which is good because it's going to be our tie-in color from the color of the base color of this to adding some other color. It's always good to have something that's variegated to make the transition. So I'm going to immediately just put these around because I want to make sure that they're at different places to make that, transition. Ooh, I got a glue gun stick stuck to my glue gun. That does happen with a lime green glue gun. Okay. Also keep in mind, as I told you before with the roses, that you want things coming out towards, 3D towards you. Everything doesn't need to be flat that way because there's plenty of space to, come out here. Nothing's hindering that at all. So, continuing with this flower. Now, when it gets to this point, I do kind of work with flowers, just a certain kind of flower, just to make sure that I do get them evenly spaced around. And I think we have coming together, right? Now we're going to, this is really going to be amazing when we start to add our coral. Oh, here's another thing I like to do, not to forget this. I love to add a little touch of berries or something unusual. These I like because they were in that coral kind of family. These I thought were great because they were just very interesting in shape, and then this had a little touch of coral. So we're going to come back in and just put a little touch of this in. Just to give it a, something a little bit unexpected. It also helps in keeping things natural looking. Anytime berries or stuff like that. This will be a great thing cascading because look at it how it's already doing. I'm probably going to take that off and cut some of this off. And let's see if we can attach this if there's any room, if there's any room left. I'm getting crammed. Okay. See how sweet that is up there? And the thing is, the good thing about silk flowers versus real is you can bend them. If you don't like the way they're going, just bend that branch. Now, I'm saving that. I do want to put this one on this side. And then we're ready to attach the, what color is?
Coral.
Coral. Now here we go back to the listening corals. You see that this is very coral right here, and then it kind of graduates out to a peachy color. That's what makes things look really real. If that had just been solid, that color, it would not have been as effective. So this is my biggest coral, so I'm going to kind of get it near the center. You have to be strong, Liz. Look, just putting that one flower in, look. Just... And then these I chose because they also have a very interesting shape to them. And they, can go down if we need them to cascade. They can go up if we need them to go up. I'm going to let this one go right here. And I see a little place. Right. Some of these stems are big. There we go. Got it. And And we got one more of these, so I'm saving it. Let's put this one coming from the top. I even saved some like single ones. So, you know, you can cut things apart when they come in groups and just utilize them in different places in the bouquet. So that is perfectly fine. Plus it gives you something that's airy, sticking out. We got that one there, this one's coming out. We're starting to get this bouquet together. And this is interesting too, I wanted to show you. If you needed filler, like if I see a place where we have nothing, I got this kind of stuff. You can go in here on this joint, make sure it leaves flowers sticking up, and go right here, cut that, and then that will, it's almost like magic, it turns into another thing because you don't see that stem. So then you can take just a little touch of hot glue and stick it into a place like right here. And it can go deep in there just to give you some filler. Isn't that beautiful? We'll do the same thing over here. Okey-doke. You will go in there. You have to show your bouquet who's boss. Right off the bat. I was reading that about our chihuahua. I know we have a chihuahua named Georgie, and I was telling Leah, he just loves it when Leah comes. And I was telling her a minute ago that he'll be 13 this year. Can you believe that? And he's starting to go into a whole different personality. The aging chihuahua. So he I have to sequester him when Liz comes before she gets here. We won't get any film done. But he didn't like it one bit and almost tried to bite me, and you know, unbelievable. But I forgot what I was telling y'all because I got up in Georgia, dude. I'll have to think about it and see if it comes back to me. I'm talking about the aging chihuahua. I might be talking about me. Doesn't that drive you crazy? And I'll think of it as soon as the camera goes off. Oh, I know what it was. See? I burned my finger, but I didn't scream. I know what it was. You have to. It's one of the things that I was reading about chihuahuas and how they age. It said that right off the bat, when you get a chihuahua new, I know y'all wonder what this has to do with bouquets, but you have to show the chihuahua who's boss right away. Which I never did with mine. That's why he acts like he does. He pretty much does what he wants to. Look, we are coming together now. This is where it gets exciting and fun to me. You lay all the groundwork, and then you come in and put these last minute things in that really make it punch. See, I wanted to show you how that berry, how pretty that texture is. And I'm trying to think. Let's put this in here. And remember I saved that bud separately. So it's a little bit deeper color, so we need it coming down. I dare not go to that bottom section. It is full in the end. There's no room, so we'll put it over here. And keep in mind, you don't want everything crammed in there. So I love that coming out. This is coming out. We got some things getting outside of our boundaries. And we got a couple more of these. Let me see. And we're just about full. I mean, that's how somebody asked me how do you know when you're finished? It's when you cannot put anything else. That lets you know it's time to call it a bouquet. Alright, now I got this one. And I'm going to lay it over here. I'm going to clip it a little bit. And put it right here. I got to feed my glue gun. It was hungry. And I have a perfect place. I literally can't see the styrofoam anymore. Okay. And now I'd hate not to put this, that other made such a difference. Let's put it right here. Right. But I do like to fry my hand on the way to the styrofoam. It's always fun. I don't think I'm going to use those. I'm going to tidy up my workspace so we can see what's actually bouquet and what isn't. And we're fixing to see how this turned out. I thought for a minute it wasn't going to come out. Is that not beautiful? Don't you see romance, Liz? Don't you see here comes the bride? This is how, see, this is what I meant about on the back side. It's still, you know, if you should turn, you have a still pretty view. We are rounded. So I think we achieved everything I wanted to achieve in the construction of a bouquet, but I also think, I hope, she'll be seeing it later, I've gotten all the criteria that she wanted. So if you're getting married this summer, a lot of people are opting to do their own flowers, or if you just want to know something about going to talk to a florist or person or designer like me to do it, then these give you ideas about how things can be incorporated so you don't leave a lot up to them. Because, you know, when it's your special day and you're walking down the aisle, you want to have the bouquet you really want. Y'all go out and create something beautiful and have a great day. Love.